because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. Near and dear to me is 5 dope steps on how to create the life you want, how to create your hype. You want to be your own hype man. And I'm going to, just dive into just some steps into how to create that life that you want. Now, before I get into those steps, I always want to do a little bit of disclaimer, just to let you all know that I am not a licensed psychologist. No, I am not. No shape, no form, no nothing. This is strictly basically for entertainment, and is also based off my opinion and my experience from what I've been through. So I just wanted to put that out there before I get into my steps and from my opinion. All right, so now let's start. Okay, so now let me ask you all. Are you living the life of your dreams? Now, can you honestly say that you are living the life that you want to live? Are you being your own hype man, hype woman, hype person? Are you being that creative person to say that, yes, I am living the life that I want? I mean, really living the life of your dreams, So now let's get into step number 1. Okay. Now, we have to decide to make it happen. Okay. Now, if we decide to make these things happen in our life, then maybe we can begin to start to take the steps into creating the life that we want. Okay, all right. So now maybe your current life, it's not so quite adding up to the way that you want it to. You might have different circumstances right now that, that you're going through this, causing you to not to create the life that you want to. I'm here to tell you, and I'm quite sure anyone that, your loved ones or friends or anyone will tell you that's okay. It's all right. It's okay. All right. Because, today I am going to tell you that it is okay to begin your life right now. Anytime in your life right now with the way that you want it to be. And if you decide today is the day you want to begin to create the life that you want, then this is what you're saying to yourself. You're saying to yourself, yes, I am doing everything in my power and all of my ability to create the life that I want, to create my hype that I want. You're basically telling yourself that you're taking this step. You're taking this step to be a better you, to be a new you, to be the best that you ever could be in your life. You're deciding to making, that happen in your life. You are deciding today to make that step forward. Okay, now, of course, there is going to be fear of uncertainty. There is going to be, you worrying about the unknown, future events or, the circumstances that, I said earlier that, you may be going through, when you really have more control over your life than you may realize. Right now, today, yes. Those circumstances that, you may be going through. Everyone has a circumstance, a situation, or whatever it may be. But, those situations will pass. They don't stay forever. They do not stay forever. No matter what it is, they do not stay forever. It could be anything. I can also touch on the side of sickness. There is a possibility that we can be healed from a sickness. It's a possibility. Yes, it is. So if we decide to make it happen and allow the flow of everything to just fall in its place, then it can happen for you. Okay? All right, so that's number 1. Now, I just want to just say that, to add to that, it's simple, it's really, really simple. It's not as hard as you might think it would be, because it's all about, maturity, it's all about, having a purposeful life, and you want it to be pulled towards you in a unique way. If you are clear on your direction, you can make better decisions about what you love and why you love it. If you would just let it happen and let that creativity just let it flow. Let it flow within you. All right, so now let's get into number 2. Now, this is the one that a lot of us, and I can honestly say, about myself too, because sometimes I do this too. All right, stop making excuses. Just don't make excuses. Whenever we have a difficult challenge in our lives, we make excuses about it. If you're going to create the dream life that you want, you must stop making excuses. Yes, excuses, all of them. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. All right. So now, before I get more into the step of stop making excuses, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. Okay. About, just briefly about my experience in this and why I can share these steps with you, because honestly, all these steps that I'm sharing with you all, I have experienced. I have did it. I have done it. Okay. So now, I was a big procrastinator. I used to procrastinate so much about every single thing in my life. But, the only thing that stopped me from being that way is me. I wanted to be a better me. I got tired of doing things that didn't make me happy. I got tired of going places where I didn't feel welcome. I wanted to create that life to where I can have peace. I can have happiness. I can feel loved. I can feel like Just the most wonderfulest person in the whole world. And I made it that way because I stopped making excuses. I wanted to build the self-discipline because I put an end to all of those excuses. I took responsibility for my behavior in my life. And the reason why I did all of that is because I wanted to make the most out of my life and all that life has to offer me. And I wanted to get the most out of my life, And that's why I'm doing the things that I'm doing now. All of the things that you see that I'm doing now, I'm making the most out of my life. I am seizing the moment. I am in the present right now. And you want to know what else I did too? I got up off my ass and I went after my goals. I went after my aspirations. I went after all of my dreams. Stuff that I used to just lay in the bed when I was going through all of those circumstances and making all those excuses. I went after those things. I said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. What am I waiting for? What do I have to lose? Sure, people would say, I remember it was one time that I had talked to someone about my podcast, and it's one thing you always say, never tell people about your dreams and, just until they manifest and until you make it manifest, until you make it happen, but however, I, took it upon myself to tell this person about my podcast, and about, all the things that Regina has in her mind, floating in her mind. I just blurted all of it out. I told this person everything, and after that happened, I had this person looked at me and actually said this to me. They said, I don't think that you should do all of that. I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, isn't everybody else doing that? Or isn't it too hard to do that? I mean, don't you have to have a lot of money to get all the equipment? I mean, I don't think that, I don't know, Regina. I don't think that you should really think about it. Why don't you just do one thing at a time? Why don't you just sing? Or why don't you just, and this is the same person. I told this person when I first dropped my first single, I was so excited. I didn't even release it to the world yet because, I wanted to make sure that everything was straight, like far as with my copyright and everything. But I let this person listen to my song. This person was like, okay, all right, it's a nice song. It's a nice song. It's okay. It's all right, but, I mean, what you going to do with it? I mean, is that all you going to do? I mean, just always not the fullest, support. I can just say that anybody can tell you what they like from life. And most people will tell you, most people will tell you what they want out of life. I told this person what I wanted out of my life and how I wanted to see my life. I mean, however, when push comes to shove, how many people do you know who are committed to pursuing their goals and are relentless? I mean, like stay up late, like grind, like go hard in doing so. How many people can y'all honestly say that who are committed to pursuing what they want to do in life? How many people can y'all say that? My bet is that if you are honest, you will know very few people who really adhere to what they want to do. Now, if you want to be like those people and that person that I mentioned to you, if you wanted to not support these people or be there for these people or not move into the direction of creating the life that you want, you need to avoid making excuses. This person made so many excuses as to how, when, and why, and no, and maybe, and I don't think so. So many excuses. I didn't even make the excuses. This person made the excuses for me. Just like I said, I'm going to say this again. If you want to be like these people, you need to avoid making excuses and take action. Just take action. Just do it. Just do it. Don't even tell anyone. Don't even tell anyone. Oh my God. I can stress this. This is almost bringing tears to my eyes because I can stress this. Take the action, y'all. Take the action. I mean, because tomorrow is not promised to none of us. How many of y'all can sit up there and say that you followed your dream, that you did it? Live out your legacy. Live your dream. Live your passion. Do your passion. It doesn't matter what it is, y'all. It doesn't matter what it is. Just do it. I am a living example for those who are listening to this podcast that know me and know what I have been through in my life, which maybe later on down the line, I will share that when I'm comfortable. But for those who've known me, they know that I've been through a lot in my life. And for me to accomplish all of these things that they see that I am accomplishing, living my truth, how to live in your truth. How to live in your truth. This is my truth. I stopped making those excuses. This is my truth, y'all. And honestly, I can just say that I would love to see everyone win. Everyone win. And, but we just have to take ownership, take accountability of our own actions and stop making those excuses and succeed and be successful. Okay? All right. So let's move on to number 3. That was getting a little bit deep, but, I just wanted to say, stop settling for anything less, y'all. You don't even need to fight them. You don't even need to fight those excuses. Just set them right down, right over there, like you don't even need them, and let it go. That's it. Let that shit go. Let those excuses go. Like it's a heavy bag weighing you down. Just let them go, y'all. All right, so number 3. Now this is a thing that people, some people, it's hard. I know it's hard for me to do it on a daily basis because, I'm a big procrastinator. Number 3 is craft your daily routine. Like have a daily routine, y'all. When you are designing a life of creativity, a life that you want, you have to have a daily routine on a daily basis. It has to be like clockwork. It has to be. It has to be like clockwork. It's easy to spend too much time thinking about the big picture, like, the big picture, like where to live, where should I work at, who, should I spend time with, or even spend my life with. In the midst of these big picture thoughts, spend time to think about your perfect day. Spend time to think about that perfect day. All right? Now, this is just a little bit of an exercise. Now if you're driving, and you're listening to this podcast, of course, you can re-listen to this podcast and do this brief exercise, if you want to, Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath, like breathe in and exhale. Now let's think about your dream life. Think about your dream life. Think about where you want to be and how is it. You can even visualize yourself doing it, whatever it may be. How it is designed, specifically just for you. Just for you. And how it would be if your life was in the moment of bliss while doing it. You were happy, you enjoyed it. Now open your eyes to the present. You're here in the present. You're looking around. You're in the present moment. Now, think about those reasons to delay your life. Think about those reasons that you can't create those daily habits so that you can get to where you need to be on a daily basis. Think about it. It's the daily memories that shape your life in a profound way over a long term if you create those daily routines in your life. If you don't have control over your entire day, it will make a big impact in your life if you don't do it. It will really throw you off of your equilibrium. Like, it would just really just fuck you up. It would just really mess you up. It would make just like I said, a big impact to set you back. You can just start off with the small parts that can make those impacts, go away. Those big impacts. Just start off with something small. For example, you can just wake up earlier, Enjoy the productivity of waking up earlier. You can get a lot of things done. You could probably pack your lunch, you know. It's best to do it the night before, but, you can, if you didn't do it, you can do it in the morning. Make yourself some breakfast in the morning. You can make time for yourself to do like a daily exercise routine. And you can also go to sleep early. And if you do those things by just, going to sleep, then your body can get the adequate rest that it needs, so that when you wake up the next day, you can get up earlier and have that productive day. So create and craft it. You can also make a to-do list. Stick with that to-do list. Stick with that list that you have right out before you. You could probably have a board or something, or even if you can't get one, just write it out on a piece of paper in a book, where you can have that to-do list that you're going to stick with on a daily basis. And trust me, it will make a big impact in your life. It will make a good impact in your life. I stick with my goals and my list each and every day. And if I have people, because now that I'm doing things and I'm out and about and I'm meeting new people, I still stick to my to-do list. I still stick to it. I do. I don't let anyone stop me from doing it. I don't, sometimes people try to say, Regina, come, can you come meet me here or do this or do that? And I'm like, no, I have things I have to do. I don't let anything stop me from doing it. All right. So craft your daily routine, guys. Yes. All right. So number 4. Now, this one is a very interesting one. I love this one too. This one. All right. Number 4. This one I would love for people to stop doing this, because I see it. Sometimes people don't want to admit that they do this. People do not want to admit, that they do this. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to others. Now, honestly, can we all honestly say that we do it sometimes? You may not know that you do it, but you do it. You do compare yourselves to others. I can honestly say that I have in the past. Not now, but I have in the past. Like years ago, I used to. But mine was coming off of more of a low self-esteem thing, which I overcame. And, people often fear being compared to others who they perceive to be, more talented or better than themselves. Oftentimes we measure ourselves up to see if we perform better or worse than others. It could be anything. It could be at work. Say like there's a new person that comes in, you've been there for a long time doing your job. This new person comes in and, all of you, y'all do the same thing, but this new person comes in and does it better than you. How would you feel? would you feel like this person is better, or do you feel that, oh, that's good. This person is doing a great job. Wow, that's awesome. You would love to see that person win too. In other words, it is important to not make a justification so you won't be compared to other people, because then you aren't even giving yourself a chance to succeed if you do that. I mean, who knows? Compared with someone else, say like you compare yourself with that person, you may be the best. You never know. That person, you might think that person is doing the best, but you may be the best at doing it, because that person, you might think that person may get through that spreadsheet and enter in all of those documents in the system, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you do on a daily basis at work or whatever, it doesn't matter what you do. You might think that person is better than you and may be the best. No, you might be the best yourself, because that person could be cutting corners. And you don't even know that the person is doing that until you really look and dive and see, why is this person doing this fast? Or that good? Or that efficient? Or whatever the case may be. You never know. If you're someone, all right? Now, if you're someone who constantly compares yourself to others, then let me tell you this. It's a quote that I've seen somewhere. A flower does not think of competing with flowers next to it. It just blooms. Yes, it just blooms. It doesn't even think about it. It just, blooms into a beautiful flower. So let me save y'all thousands of hours of therapy and the time to take to read a gazillion, books and self-help books. Stop comparing yourself to others, okay? Just stop it. Just stop. Because over time, it does something to your mind. It does something to your mind to the point that you will not be able to create the life that you want. It just seems to me that these negative comparisons are a path to unhappiness. Not it seems, it is. They cause you to make poor decisions in your life so that you won't create your hype. They cause you to feel greater stress, anxiety, and depression. Just like I told you all before in my previous podcast, I did suffer from that. And not just because I compared myself to others, but in some form of it, I did. But it was other stuff. It was other situations and stuff that I've been through that, caused me to have that. But, if we stop doing this, you can achieve the success you desire. Because think about it. Everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses. We all are special in unique ways. By comparing yourself to others, you are trying to take the things that make you special and unique and strip them away, comparing yourself to some mythical norm. You waste time. You waste time too. Comparing yourself to others take time. You wasting all of that time comparing yourself to other people. It's a time waster, because you want to know what? Your time is limited. Your time is limited. There are so many hours in a day. Why worry about what others have done or have not done when you can take the action to make the improvements to yourself? Think about that. Why waste your time comparing yourself to others? Comparison puts the focus on the wrong person, because you're focusing on that person that you think is the best at doing that job, or whatever the case, or whatever it is, singing, dancing, writing, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you comparing yourself to. When you compare yourself to others, just like I said, it makes you think that they have achieved and what they have done. But you have no control over other people's lives. You have no control over what they do. All you can control is you. All you can control is what you got going on in your life. And the only person that you should be comparing yourself to is you.
Pull up my selector.
Right? If you are improving, that's all that matters. No matter what you're doing in your life, it doesn't matter what you're doing to create the life that you want. If you are improving in it, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, guys. All right. So now getting into the last tip. How can I make these changes? How can you make these changes? All right. So now, it kind of ties into with crafting your daily routine. But this is just to sum everything up. It's how can you, make these changes? Okay. Now, there are changes you can make in your daily life to boost your productivity. It may come easy to some, once you start doing it, or in some, it might be a little rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? Just, creating the life that you want takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Some people it does, but it doesn't happen overnight, because I can honestly say that everything that I'm doing right now, this didn't happen overnight. I get people that's asking me questions, Regina, like, how are you doing these? How do you do it? This is hard work. It's just hard work that I'm doing, but you want to know, I love doing it. I love doing it. It's fun. I love talking because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say, and I love doing this. This is a long time in the making. This is something that I always wanted to do, and I'm doing it. But once you form a new habit, just like I said, put in those 10,000 hours. If you put in those 10,000 hours, everything will fall into place. If you just keep on working at your own creative pace, just keep on working at it, everything will fall into place no matter what you do. Once again, I'm going to say, it's proven that if you do something for 29 days, 29 to 30 days. Let's say 30. Let's round it up to 30. If you do something for 30 days, that means you formed that habit. You formed it. It could be anything, guys. It could be bad or good. But if you form something, a new habit, everything will fall into place. If you perform the creative things that you love to do for 30 days, it will be embedded in you. Start your day by building those habits. Start doing it every single day. Because if you do, it will improve your productivity. It will boost your creativity. It will help you focus on what is important. And one way to improve your life is to read and learn something new every day. Read, learn, grow. And just like I said, if there's a lack of sleep that's dragging you down, sometimes people need to get that full sleep. But if we have children at home, it's kind of hard, but you can take a rest. When that baby rests, you rest. You can still have your creative life if you have children. You can still follow your dreams. And just like I said, things do not take overnight. It takes time. Look for ways to improve every area in your life. Every area. Too. Not just, following your dreams. But once you start doing these things, it will improve every area in your life. It will. I can honestly say that it may not be as difficult as it sounds, okay? Because I don't know, I just hear it in my mind that people say, oh, it's difficult. It's not. It's easy for you to say, what I'm saying? But the important thing is that most productive leaders understand the importance of creating habits. That's why most of them are successful. Majority of them are successful. And another thing too, what you can do to incorporate in forming your habits and daily routine, making those changes in your life, how to make those changes, is to meditate. It is said that meditate daily is among the 8% of Americans who use meditation to improve the mind, body, and soul is evident and productive. So don't hesitate to try your best to work it into your schedule. Even if you can do it on your lunch break. Even if you can do it right before you lay down to sleep. You can just close your eyes for 5 to 10 minutes. You can do it daily before you go to sleep and before you leave out of the house. Like as soon as you wake up, don't touch your phone. Just meditate. And if you want to know how to meditate, look it up. Google. Look it up, guys. But, it's not hard to meditate. It's really, it's easy to say, for me to say it. But, it's easier said than done. And why I say that is easier said than done, because that means that you need to do it. If you do it, it'll be easy. And you can get back into the flow and follow by taking these steps, these key steps. Because it's going to boost your productivity and it will help you stay on track. And to sum this all up, also, take a break too. Take a break. Take a break from your daily routine, your daily life, your hustle and bustle, going back and forth to work. Yes, take a break. Re-energize yourself. Recharge your brain. Recharge your body. Recharge your mind. Sometimes I have to do it. I have to do some staycations by myself to, get myself back on track, my mental, my mind, everything back on track. That's what I normally do. I have to. It's very important and vital for me to do that. Because when you go, you eventually hit the wall. Eventually you will. There's nothing wrong with taking breaks, even if it seems to slow down your progress, even if you got to take a break. It's nothing wrong with doing that. Okay, guys. So, that's all my tips from what I have. And I'm just looking at the clock and it's 11:11. Wow. Okay. And, yes. So the number one tip, that I got from everything, as you continue down this path in time, whatever people's circumstances, situations that are a match to you and your greatest good will begin showing up in your life. Then eventually you'll realize one day that you're actually living the life you want. You are now listening to episode 13 of the Creative Lips Podcast.
Yeah.